Hey everybody, wanted to share some more of my journey with you on this Carolina Skiff project. Got the Honda 45 horsepower 4-stroke motor on it. I got the boat all waterproofed, stripped the floor, got it dried out, took it on the water, still wouldn't get up on plane. I felt pretty good about having it dried out. After I put the garber drain holes in it, I wound up drilling them deeper. I drilled them 9.5 feet from the back here all the way up to where it starts to turn up in the front. But went to local Honda dealer and bought a different propeller. Turns out it had an aftermarket propeller on it, and it was a 10-inch diameter by 13 pitch. It was a 4-blade plastic, and I went to I think it was about 11 5/8 diameter by 11 pitch prop, 3-blade aluminum, and it got right up on plane. I had only just put it in at the landing and went around the corner and tried to get on plane, which it did, and just right after that my alarm started going off, my temperature alarm, and went and bought a new water pump. I had put that in, I had changed the gear oil, and it was peeing good out of the telltale hose, but still running hot. The guys up at Holden's Marine in Spartanburg, South Carolina, great shop, Honda dealer, gave me some tips, which I think I've just figured out and solved my problem, other than putting it back together and trying it out. But basically what we did, took the thermostat out, which is located right here off the top, and rigged up an attachment for the garden hose, which is here. What I've got is a washing machine hose hooked up to the garden hose with a quick valve on it, and it goes up into this hose bib, residential, but I've just used this for an adapter to go from the garden hose here to 3/4 inch PEX. And I cut the bottom on a little bit of an angle and wrapped this electrical tape around it to give me a seal. And what I'm doing is sticking this down in the thermostat, directing that angle so the water goes the right direction. But stick this down, push it hard, and make a tight seal. You want to seal this up right here tight against the metal. I've got the foot off the engine, and I've hose clamped radiator hose, probably a 3/4 inch radiator hose, up onto the steel pipe under here that gets the water from the water pump. And when I turn the water on, I'll just show you right quick. Hold on just a second. I'm just going to turn it on easy so I don't get super wet. There comes the water, and I just barely got it turned on. At first, I couldn't get it to blow water through this method, and I tried back and forth, going from this method to taking my rig off at the top and replacing it with a wet vac. So I was taking this out right here, so that rig is no longer needed on the second method. Taking the wet vac hose, putting it on here tight, hold it down, turn the water on wide open, vacuum running, and the way I was turning the water on, I was taking a fireman's type garden hose nozzle sticking it up into this rubber hose on the bottom I've got where the water would normally go up, tightening up that hose clamp around it, turn the water wide open and vacuuming the water that was coming out of the top. Now I was barely getting water out of the top, and I wound up doing some different things with the telltale hose here, and when it finally broke loose for me, I had put the vice grips on this to block this off, so the water pressure, it was actually coming through this hose good. It looked like the water pump was working, but it wasn't getting through the engine. But this was really getting wild, spraying water, so I pinched it off with the vice grips, and I was just going back and forth, putting water in the top, flushing it down to the bottom, which wasn't doing hardly anything in that direction, almost like it had a check valve in the engine somewhere. Then switching back and sending the water from the bottom up to the top into the wet vac, and I'm trying to catch all of the water so I can see what I'm getting out. And finally, while I was putting the water down from the top, it blew out a big old wad of stuff. Now when I took this water pump apart to replace it, you know, the impeller, it looked good, it looked new. But this is what came out. I've been saving it. This is sand, which, you know, I think would be pretty normal to have some sand and, you know, some fine stuff in it, but big pieces of a previous water pump impeller, a lot of it. And I've continued going back and forth, you know, water from each direction, capturing, you know, what I'm getting out of the motor, just to sort of see. And right now everything seems to be flowing real good. It should actually go both directions very freely, no resistance whatsoever, no back pressure either direction, which I was getting. So I'm going to do this a few more times, back and forth, and see if I can get any more out of it. I hope this helps y'all. If I can help you with your project, or if you've got any advice for me, my email address is joeyoggston@gmail.com. Good luck to y'all. Maybe I'll see you on the water. 1994 Bf45a 4-stroke Honda, 45 horsepower.